Good Sunday morning, everybody. How you doing? 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 Good. The worst echo. The worst echo. Bear with me. Always having some sort of technical difficulty. I don't know why. Bear with me. Always having some sort of technical difficulty. I don't know why. All right. Well, let's see. So far, everything looks all right. Not too terrible. Sorry, I just had such a terrible, terrible show last week. I got so frustrated with it. Just kind of knocked off with it altogether. But thankfully, too terrible. Sorry, I just had such a terrible. So, all right. So last week, kind of got into, well, I mean, like got into building custom GPTs a bit, and basically looked at like not last week, but a week before, looked at like how to do some of the training, how to upload some files and put some data into GPT. And so this week, basically wanted to flush that out a little bit more, sort of, roll it back a little bit, take a look at each step in more detail, and then kind of just walk through building a GPT for, I think I was going to do it for marketing strategy. So we're going to build a marketing strategy GPT. And yeah, let's get at it. I'm sure that you guys have heard a lot of the stuff going on in the news this past week with that's super annoying. Sorry. All the stuff that's going on in the last week with Altman and OpenAI and everything like that. Really nothing new that I can, not nothing new, but like more like nothing unexpected. I'm not going to get into it because every video I've pulled up starts going into it, and it's like, you know what? It's like, just move forward. Like we're moving forward. Like the Q star thing should be at the forefront of everybody's mind right now, as that seems to be like, let's call it the engine or whatever it might be behind GPT-5. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, because it seems like GPT-5 was something that they were like, seems like something they might have been working on prior to Q-Star, right? It's tough to say, like, this is that transparency aspect of things where like it's tough to say, but of course you can't expect this company to just come out and tell you exactly what they're working on every single day. What? Come on. But this is that aspect of it where it's like, okay, well, is Q-Star GPT-5 or is that something else? GPT-5's already been training since like earlier this year. Know that for sure. So if that's the case, then this Q-Star model couldn't possibly be, I mean, it might be related, but it couldn't be anything like it, I would imagine. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm excited about it. I think that there are plenty of people. There's two like really big stories to me that broke recently that, like, it's not that people aren't talking about it, but it is at the same time a question of, do you understand what these things mean when you put them all together? So one is that, Q-Star in that, hey, hey Emerson, what's going on, man? So yeah, I don't know what was up with that repeat, but it's all right. I'm glad it's going. So one of the things that is really big is the fact that Q-Star can solve basic math equations that it's never seen before. And that's massive. It's absolutely massive. What I love what I love talking about is not only just AI, but just like how much this stuff like folds into every sort of aspect of our lives when you step back and take a look at it a little bit. So think about the fact that mathematics is really the language That's it, right? Math is the only language everyone speaks. Everybody knows how to speak it. Nobody, like, some people might not know how to speak the more complicated aspects of math, but outside of that, if you put two stones next to each other, everyone on the face of the planet knows those are two stones, right? If you add a third stone, everybody knows now there's three. There's no, right, no one's confused. No one's looking at three stones and saying, clearly it's four. I mean, probably somebody at one point tried doing that, right? But thankfully we all kind of ousted that person, I'm sure. So, and you know, to go further, right? So how do I know that this is I don't know that it is the most, because we have quantum mathematics, right? So it's one of the most universal languages. We certainly, all humans, understand it. So, and I say that because we got around space, right? Like what worked on Earth worked in space. So clearly the two things relate. Okay, so let's bring it back to the model. If it can do basic math equations that it's never seen before, it can now start problem solving for math. So now if we give it even more, if it, like, I don't know where this goes. All I can tell you is that when it came to gaming models, when they tried this in the beginning, it took something like 8 months, I think, for the first edition of Alpha to beat the best Go player in the world. I think it took 40 days for the next iteration of Alpha to beat the first iteration. They were playing against each other. So AI against human took 8 months. AI against another AI took 40 days. Upgraded AI against older model AI that had taken 40 days, 48 hours. There are still some people, for some reason, who saw the breakthrough with QStar that are sitting there saying, like, oh, it's going to be years. It's going to be so long until it actually does like really complicated math. No, it's not. It's not going to be very long at all. We just passed the 1-year anniversary of GPT being public, guys. Look at what has happened in 1 year, and then tell me that it is going to take a long time for a new language model, a new large model altogether, that it's going to take a long time for it to learn mathematics. Like something, it's yes, it's easy at a lower scale, and obviously it does get exponentially more difficult to understand as it gets higher, but these models scale exponentially. So they're quite literally built for this, right? Like they're meant to do these things. It's what we base everything else on. All of our complex security systems are based on what? Algorithms. They're based on math, right? And we're just training this thing how to be better at that, and at the same time sort of mocking it, saying like, oh, it can only do basic math equations. Like, what are you going to do? Mock it until it can do, quantum mathematics that completely destroy your mind, right? And it starts doing things that you couldn't even possibly fathom if you had 10 lifetimes to do it. At that point, will you say that it's awesome? Right? I'm wondering, like, I'd love to know where the limit is for some of these people. So that's one major breakthrough. The other one is equally this one is equally as good. Let's see. Google DeepMind. Let's see. Something like 400,000 new materials. So Google DeepMind put together an AI that can basically probe for new materials. And if you are questioning and wondering, well, what do you mean by new materials? I mean just that, like new materials, right? So like new things that have never existed before. So it put together this compendium. It boiled down to 400K. Oops, I've got way too many AI things running, clearly. It boiled down, it was like 2.5 million or something like that when it first started, the first output of it. And then it boiled it down to like 400K. And that's been boiled down to like 700, like actually viable like materials that can be used. Is there anything else that has mind power focused on it? Um, Gosh, I don't think so. I don't think so. Emerson's asking if there's anything else in the world that has as much money and power and mind power focused on it currently. I don't think so. The reason I say that is because most of what we are trying to do involves solving problems, right? And so currently what we've not necessarily stumbled upon, again, this stuff has been here for a decade. We've just, Google's just been sitting on it because, safety. Rightly so. 10 years ago, we would have been absolute morons with this technology. Who knows? Anyway, we're not. I'm just, yeah, I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, so given that this is the greatest problem solver, sort of, right? Like that's the angle we're going for. That's what Altman is pushing towards. Forget like I don't want to. I don't want to say it yet. I mean, in 24, like I'll start. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna start saying it in January. I might as well start saying it now. Like, just forget AI. Just forget it. I'm saying it now. It's already old news. Okay. Um, it really is. Like if you've used like Auto GPT, you kind of have an understanding of what that's like. Custom GPTs is like it's really nice. Custom GPTs is great because it gives you an understanding of how powerful an AI model can be when you train it on specific data. Right? You can see that like okay, something that seems crazy dumb when you actually give it enough understanding of the subject that you want it to be smart about is actually now like doctorate level smart at it, if not well beyond. So the point at which AGI, right, just come to terms. This whole agent thing, Bill Gates has been talking about it since last year. It's been the want. I who hasn't since you saw Iron Man? Who hasn't wanted a Jarvis? Right? Everybody wants a Jarvis. I want a Jarvis. So yeah, to me, agents are definitely the next thing. We already have them. If you're using this stuff, even if you have 3.5, you have GPT voice now. Let me see. Whoops. Yeah, 3.5 has voice chat now, right? So
When you write, your tone influences how
gross. Just in that you'd be able to hear that. So 3.5, I don't know who this guy is, but you should have voice enabled here. And then there should be the option as well. So, I mean, I don't know if this is the same thing as what I've got, which it probably isn't. And if it isn't, I'm sorry. Uh, so voice on mine is like legitimate. It's like pi, like you could have a conversation with GPT. This seems like just voice input to GPT, which is all right, but it's not quite there. It's just voice input. I will tell you this much. The voice input with GPT is phenomenally better. Where like if you've used like an upgraded Android version yet, phenomenally better than like Siri or Alexa so far. Of course, everybody's going to catch up eventually. But they are just phenomenally better at understanding what it is you're saying. And it makes perfect sense. They're both running off of massively large language models. So what are you going to do? Anyhow, so the new materials thing, why is that so like crazy important? I just want to backtrack real quick and finish this. This is really important because I have to look it up, but I want to see if I can find the source again. But just to put the nail on it, Emerson, I don't think so because this is kind of the end of it, right? Like this is this is where we need to. This is where we're going to finish. Like this is the end of our technology. Basically, it's the end of the line. You could say. I want to think already. I'm not entirely sure, but you have to sort of question it. The fact that NVIDIA is like hand over fist coming out with new technology constantly, right? You have to sort of question at one point, hey, are they already using something that is helping them advance their own technology? Right? Because that's where the massive upper hand comes from. The most massive upper hand comes from having a system that can design better technology than what you're already using. That's what if you didn't understand what this article was about, that's what this article was about. This article is about an AI who has discovered new materials that we likely would have never even, who knows? Like I said, even the finite drilled down 700 list, 700 new material. Who knows how long that was going to take to come up with? Who was going to find them? How long it would have taken to come up with them if we were even going to be able to? The 400,000 number, though, that's just theoretically possible. The 2.5 million was like, hey, this is my overall guess. The 400 grand was like, these are actually probable. If we put time into these, it might actually happen. The 700 was like, you should probably just make these tomorrow, right? Like that's how good the recipes were for those materials. What I'm looking at is DeepMind materials, semiconductor, room temperature. Oh man. Okay. Well, let's see. This is back in July. So like this is what's going to change the game entirely. This is back in July. Let me see if like the past month. Yeah, Gnome. Gnome is the name of the machine. So yeah, 2.2 million new materials, of which 700 have gone on to be created in the lab and are now being tested. Right? So boom, 700 in the hopper already, right? The number of known stable materials has grown has grown tenfold to 421k. Right? That's nuts. So they're saying that part of what's been discovered, but let's see. I'm not sure. I'll take a look for it. I heard it on a podcast that I was listening to. So I don't know that it's legit. Doesn't look like it is. And this is within the past month, within the past year, obviously. So that's what supposedly has been found, is like a new material that would allow semiconductors to operate at room temperature. You have no idea how amazingly powerful that is for like what they're trying to do right now with computing. It's amazingly powerful. It's the best way I can put it. Okay, all right, let's get to work. So today we're going to build a custom GPT, and that GPT is going to be really good at building marketing strategies for us, right? And we're just going to go on like basic strategies. I don't want to get into anything too complicated and have to pull down insane amounts of data. I'm also going to cover like a few different things that are just all interrelated and connected to custom GPTs, just stuff you should know, tools you should know, resources, and all that. All right, so first things first, if you don't know already, so let's just take a look at the Explore panel. I wish I could go back to when I first had all the stuff so you could see what it looked like in the beginning, but you know, basically you'll have this Chat GPT icon and you'll have an Explore, and I can't remember if you even have a bot in between. I don't think you do. You just have those two things. GPT has been wonky on me like lately. I don't know why. I think it's the amount of use on this thing is going nuts. All right. Hurrah, hooray. Broke 200 on HubSpot Harry this past week. Had to change the name. I couldn't put him public with HubSpot being the front part of the name, even though somebody else's bot that's out there is like something HubSpot. It's whatever. I don't care, as long as people are using it and they're getting leverage out of it and it's helping people. That's legitimately all I care about. Okay, so you won't have any of this when you start out. You'll just have this created GPT aspect, and then you'll have the made by OpenAI bots. And most of these are pretty good. Like to start, oh shoot, Santa bot, that's new. Man, I'm telling you, like I don't know what is like the use, especially on weekends, must be insane. Wow. Man, are the servers that overloaded on weekends? Okay. Get them all if we can. Okay, while we can. So start out with like an image bot, data analysis bot, like pretty much the same, like the separated models, because the new standard is just that. It is like all of them put together. So if you go to whatever your new GPT is, it's everything all wrapped up into one. So it's either just everything, turbo, or plugins. This is how sad it is. I feel bad. I'm sure there are plugins that are probably still useful, but not for me, because everything that I was doing was to try to create like a custom conversation, custom bot. So now that stuff's really not useful to me at all. Anyhow, so that's how the interface has changed. You'll notice that when you sign up for 4. If you haven't already, you should, because what are you doing? Anyhow, going down the list, spraying cheer with best of gift ideas. That's cool. So you have like a gift idea GPT. That sucks if you have to. It's you know what? It's great if you just joined a new job and you're trying to figure out what to get people. And so job type, industry, and types of people who work there. You put in these variables to get gift ideas for the office. I hate to break it down like that, but that's it is. It's pretty sick that you can do that, right? Okay, so like game time, negotiator, like very obvious bots that you could use by default. These are all made by OpenAI. Unfortunately, you cannot look behind the curtain on any of these to see what's going on. But you could certainly guesstimate it. Somebody's created a bot that will basically help you gain a massive edge on how to do this. I'm going to show you all of that stuff right now. So if you don't know, now you know. Start out with Google search, right? And then just start out and say like GPTs, custom GPTs list. And then you'll probably go to, let's see, awesome GPTs, right? Curated list of different GPTs, 300 custom GPTs you can start using right now. So like the store might not be up, but the point of what I'm trying to make is that, or the point that I'm trying to make is that there's still ways to go see other GPT models. And yes, when you click on them, you just go straight to them, right? So Google, right? Still use your Google, still find what you need to, start getting them, getting to your GPTs how you need to. You can find most of what you need, but the point of this really is to go find 2 bots in particular. One of them, let's see, it's on my sidebar. You can't actually save them to your collection, as it were. Yeah, see, like wonky stuff is happening lately. I don't necessarily know why. Okay. One of them that you are going to want to go get your hands on is the 22,500 best custom GPTs bot. And that bot basically searches the entire GPTs database for any public GPTs and then pulls them to your, basically pulls them up to you. Same thing as searching them basically, but it's a little bit more fine-tuned. I think if you're looking for something in particular, like you saw, you can go scroll through a huge web page and do find on a web page to find it, or just when you find these GPTs and you like using them or whatever, just pin them. You can pin them to your sidebar, and then you have them here all the time. And that way you don't have to bother going to, oh my God, where's that GPT I had? Just pin it to your sidebar. And then even, that way, when you're done with this conversation, you can still delete the conversation and have the GPT for later. Okay. So you're going to find either through Google, or you're going to come to this 22K bot. And actually, for those of you that are that are actually watching, I will post this on YouTube later as well. But there's the custom GPT link for the 22.5 bot. You're going to use that bot in order to find other stuff. But one thing that you definitely want to find is this one in particular, which is all about custom GPTs, the AI exchange. This bot does exactly what it sounds like, gives you all the information and everything you need to know about custom GPTs. Why is this so important? Because, what do you know so far about creating custom GPTs? Not a whole lot, right? I can show you stuff, but I'm not even joking. Half the stuff I learned by doing, right? Just by, out the box doing. And then as soon as examples were available, YouTubes were available, custom searching and stuff like that was available. Yes, of course. It's almost like, you find a couple sticks and you're like rubbing them together and you're like, well, a couple sticks, rubbing them together, I can hit stuff with them or whatever. And then you see somebody else like rubbing them fast enough to create fire, and you're like, well, all right, well, let's create some fire too. Like, don't be afraid of that stuff and go off and say, well, I'm gonna go figure out what I'm gonna do with mine over here. No, man, just get into it, dive into it, because you have no idea. There's so many people are doing this stuff, and it's so crazy. It's again, like the whole, I keep coming back to it, but it's like, yes, knowing how to prompt is important. Knowing like the type of verbiage that you need to use is important. Knowing how to express yourself is important, and how to build context for what it is that you want. Those things are very important. Prompt engineering, though, and like building a prompt, different story. That's very different than just like knowing how to use it. And the reason I say that is because this bot also can do what? Can you create LLM prompts? Guess what the answer is? Just take a wild guess. Let me try to give you an answer based on what I know. Oh, turns out, yes, I can. So that's the thing, is like, even if you needed to, right, you could have a bot that could create prompts for you. So there's even before custom GPTs came out, there were plugin bots that you could use to do like Midjourney prompts, or to do SDXL prompts, or any of that kind of stuff. So okay, so we've got so you've got the hang of like, go find a bot searcher of some type, or go use Google, and definitely get a handle on some type of GPT creating bot. This is just my of the three that I've used, I prefer this one, but get a hold of one, does not matter. Okay, and then in terms of like, okay, well, how do we create a new? Let's see if this thing is hung up on itself or not. Probably. Okay, let's delete that, obviously. Okay, so when it comes to creating a new one, you're going to go to Explore, and that's how you get to this menu of all the GPTs. Later, you guys will get that later. It's almost, I can't even say it's almost done. Like, this one obviously is more work than this one, because there's so much more documentation to it and so many more things to try to pull down for it. And as expected, the libraries are not the easiest to navigate. So it is what it is. So you're going to click on Create Custom GPT. You're going to be met by this interface, which is very nice, and it's a conversationally based creator. So it's really nice in that sense. I would use it to this extent, to like the setup, and just get it started with this. But I definitely wouldn't use this to like try to go, I wouldn't go the whole 9 just using this conversational method. It's not going to work. It really isn't. It's just like, it's not meant to go like really too deep. I wouldn't say that. It's just I think it's a really good jump off point, and I think you can do a lot more from there if you mix in a lot of the custom stuff. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you could just kind of go off of this and try to do your own thing, and then you can go into the configuration and try to do your own thing here and screw around back and forth and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, why try to recreate the wheel when you can go learn from somebody else who's already done it and apply that to what you're already doing, what it is you want to do. So, hi, we're going to create a new bot today. So yes, we're going to go to, let's see. Yes, hello. Like to create a bot that is going to be focused, if I can spell that, on creating marketing strategies. Marketing strategies, guides, walkthroughs, and how-tos for marketing professionals. Let's see. For marketing professionals, I want to give it a specific aim. Let's get ahead in their careers. Let's get ahead in their careers. Yeah. You know what? I'm telling you. Yeah. Let's go with that. I love like the new animated icons that they have. It's the little things, right? Like the little things go a long way. So like when it's tuning stuff, it's, you know, little tiny little wrench or whatever. And if it's searching the knowledge base, I still haven't like really put together what that icon is. It kind of looks like a little microchip or something. Great choice. Let's name the GPT. Want to go marketing maven? Does that work for you? Let's come up with a few different choices, right? List of 5 Promo Pro. That's kind of cool. Campaign Catalyst. I kind of like that. Brand Brain. Let's go with Promo Pro. And I want to walk through the whole thing. I shortcut it. I shortcut this. I did a science fair recently for prompt practitioners. If you guys aren't part of prompt practitioners, you got to be. It's sort of like my playground when I'm not doing this show, when I'm not, you know, doing work, when I'm not playing around with GPTs. That's kind of like that's where I'm at. Okay, this is pretty cool. Oh wow, so it stopped doing the maybe it stopped doing it. We'll see. So it's suggesting the picture for Promo Pro, right? And it also put the tagline in there. We can change that later. It's not a big deal. Do you like the design or would you like to change it? Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, like that doesn't really mean anything to me. So some of the stuff that we're going to be looking at later, right? What are we saying? Minimalist, sort of minimalist. I'll show you where, like, what the point of this stuff is later as well. Minimalist sans with like open. Okay. Shoot for a logo. More minimalist feel. Using. I want to go with. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, flat illustration. Of a. What's a complicated clock? Marketing, calendar, timing, clock. Okay, so if my guess is correct, it should come back with a square picture of what it is that it thinks that we want. You can make the logo whatever you want. Like, so you can go generate something in Midjourney and bring it in if you wanted to. Okay, so it's not a nulling view of the clock. For sure. Doesn't really understand what that is. I like it. They've updated this. I'm not even joking. They have tweaked this because before it used to just show you square representations of what your logo was, and you had to ask it and say like, can you show me a logo of this, and then it would put it in the circular format. I don't know when they changed it, but yeah, and the idea that like they publish all changes that they make. Okay, like clearly you guys have never played video games before, like, and you do not understand the process of ninja patching. Like, oh man, published patches are only for like things that might actually disrupt day-to-day like play or day-to-day use. Like, they don't publish the stuff that they know you're not going to notice. Shouldn't say that you're not going to notice, but they're not going to publish stuff that they know isn't actually going to affect performance. Anyhow, clock. I don't know. I want something more like a calendar. Let's see. I want to see if I can get it to change the voice on this one. I know I tried that once before. It didn't work out too well. I told it to give it a particular voice, but it didn't seem to carry through for some reason. I don't know how many times I rewrote the instructions too, but that'll do. No, that's good. My God. I'm telling you, like, I get it. I'm sure weekend use is insane. So I totally get it. But I was talking about this with my wife last night. I'll pay more. I'll pay more, man. Like I'll I'll pay 35 a month. I'm not even joking. I'll pay 35 shit. I'll pay 40 a month. Put me on a different server. Have a different service. Have like, plus, fine. Have like plus premium, right? I'll shift over to that. I don't care. But like, come on, do something. I know look, I get it. I really get it. I am seriously complaining about something that didn't in effect exist over a year ago. I totally understand that. I get it. That being said, and the fact that it's out and it's for use, I'm just saying, like, I will happily pay you more money if we can just get another. This is like, it reminds me, this is exactly what it was like when I first started playing World of Warcraft. The game was exploding, and it was exploding so quickly that they didn't realize how popular it was going to become, and they could not keep up with it, and the game was shutting down like every 30 minutes. So at least it's not that bad, but like those kind of hiccups suck. Anyway, okay, so now we're going to go into like a little bit more to try to give it some context on what it is that we want the bot to actually be able to do. So let's think about what Promo Pro should actually avoid doing, what it should be adept at. So let's see. We want Promo Pro to excel, to ideate on marketing campaign ideas, strategies. Really? Try to spell right. Campaign ideas, strategies, and execution. Methods of execution. It should be able to industry defining data to increase its knowledge base. There is an industry aspect that is lacking. Should let the user know. Saying just yet. Creator know. And get to work on updating me. Yes, you can do stuff like this. Or I wouldn't be doing it. Okay. Industry, let's see. I just want to separate these ideas. Okay. About what it should avoid. Promo. Pro should avoid. Speculation. Speculation, assumption, or yes, or attempts at arriving to correct answer. Oops. Okay. And let's see what else. Oh, it's kind of weird. Well, it's kind of funny. I'm wasting a little bit of time here because I'm gonna kind of take this stuff and put it through a different process later, but just sort of setting up the building blocks for now. Should always refer to knowledge base to a user query to searching online. Okay. You know, can't really tell a marketing bot to steer clear marketing processes. Nothing really that I'm going to go against there. If it like that's where I'm going to use the chat functionality of editing the bot is like as we're working with it. If it does do stuff that I don't like, then okay, then I'll use the chat functionality in order to trim it away and not have it do that. Get this. Let me get myself out of the way here. There we go. Okay, so we've added that to it. You'll see it when we go into the configuration. Finally, how'd you like Promo Pro to communicate with the users, specific style or interactivity? So this is where I want to see if we could actually change. Let's change it. Okay. Yes, I would like Promo Pro to have a okay. Oh, it was trying to save it while we're typing something. Just in, like, come on, man. Okay, good deal. Go back to the edit. Unfortunately, we lost the progress of the edit, right? So at least the initial stuff is in here, which is all right. But you can see, like, first of all, you can see how like plain Jane the instructions are. They're not broken out, and it's not like there's no structure to it at all, right? We'll get to that in a minute. Go back to the create part. So friendly and okay. Let's give it a little bit of personality, right? Because like I don't know. It's weird when you're just talking in the same like boring sort of not boring. Sorry, chat. Um, you want a little bit of personality in the responses, so you feel like you're like actually talking to someone as opposed to just talking to something. Maybe you guys want to feel like you're talking to something. I don't know. Do what you will. It's your GPT. Okay, cool. Now let's mess around with it from there. Okay, so you got that in there. Good lord, it seems like it took quite a bit just to add that simple instruction. Anyway, so we've got the instructions embedded. Remember, I was saying it's got a description that it's gonna. I don't know why I just felt the need to change that, but it's got a description, which of course we can change, right? So promo pro, we're gonna say creates what? There you go. Creates professional promotions for all your marketing needs. Sure. Now let's say there you go. That's what we're after. So we could say like these are basically like these are all your preview questions, right? And you can't reorder them, so keep cautious of that. And you can't have any more than 4 currently. So you can add like a new one and then get rid of one, but you're not going to be able to have like 6 up here and then see 6 show up here. Outside of the instructions aspects of things, so why do I keep harping on that? And like, what do I still have this open for? Well, of course, it's reset. They're doing something to try to conserve, and I get it. I really do, because you got people like me that have multiple portals open and use the shit like crazy. So why do we have this open? We have it open because we want to modify the instructions that we created, right? So AGP, like to help me modify create custom GPT that I'm building to be a campaign planner out there. Actually, into business. It's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. I haven't seen him forever, and he happens to be an English teacher in Japan, and we got into a very interesting conversation where like I was essentially trying to explain to him like why English was such a terrible language by comparison to so many other languages, and not like for the reasons you would think. When I say it's a terrible language, I mean it's a terrible language because let's say you're trying to teach somebody who doesn't know English whatsoever, okay, obviously, and which is what he does all the time. But I told him, I'm like, yeah, but imagine, like you're telling people, thankfully, you don't have to tell them at the same time that, 4, and 4 mean totally different things, even though it sounds like you said the same word 3 times. Right? Because they sound the same, but they're spelled differently. So context matters, right? Which is exactly, the process that goes on with training large language models is that you have to give context to words. You almost always have to give context to words in English, right? There are so many other languages that when spoken don't need context. They contain like what it is that they are trying to say, right? Like the context is contained within. Anyway, so we asked the GPT bot, hey, like we're going to be working with we're going to be creating a custom GPT bot, so you need help creating the instructions. So let's see, audience understanding, budget ROI finance, and okay. rated to be most effective. Use the following. Okay, and then I'm gonna come over here. Probably not gonna be able to copy paste, right? Yep. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if it's just me, if it's everybody. I have no clue, but I have not been able to successfully copy paste something with GPT in a long time. Okay. Hopefully this does this right the first way through. I didn't design this bot, so if it doesn't do what I'm thinking, then I'm not entirely sure what to tell you. Still not quite doing it. So I'm not saying that this is wrong necessarily. But I will say that there is a completely different format that you can use in order to make this way, way, way more efficient. Let's see. Come on. There you go. Oh, that's not what we're talking about at all. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know who built this bot. I'm definitely going to end up sending you something. A note. I've only gotten it to work right one time out of all the times I've used it. I'm not entirely sure why, but that conversation ain't going nowhere, I'll tell you that much. Watch, it just disappears, right? Let's see. Oh, there we go. So this is the formatting that I was trying to get it to do. This is the first, like when I first used this bot. Let me see. Can you please list best practices, right? And so I don't know, maybe that's, let me see. Let me see if that is a trigger. I don't think it is. I swear, if this puts me at my 40 prompt limit, I'm gonna be really upset. Oh, wow, I can't believe there's a keyword in there. There is a keyword in there. My gosh. All right, well, that's going in the chat. There you go. I don't know if that whole message made it in there. Does it look like it? Send a note. I should, right? Like, this is the formatting you're looking for custom GPT instructions. I'm not at the end of the day, I'm not entirely sure what in this made it give me the actual response that I wanted. But that is what I was looking for. So let's go ahead and copy and say, please reformat instructions with an emphasis on bot search base prior to searching online. Always ask, always be nice. Be nice to your assistants. Oh yeah, so 2024 AGI. It's just, that's going to be the thing. And if you don't think it's going to be the thing, you're asleep right now, because it's not just QStar. It's not just QStar. When Altman walked away, right? When that whole thing was happening, they said that they were going to continue the pursuit of safe AGI. They said nothing. It still didn't do it, right? I don't understand what's happening here. But I can almost guarantee you that if I do it with the engineer, it's probably going to come out differently if it feels like working today. Okay. Let's see. Instructions on searching. I don't know why this one works and the other ones don't. Couldn't tell you. I think with that one, I just should have probably specified and said, like, could you apply that to this, as opposed to just saying, could you just reformat this? That's what I was, this is what I was getting at. Boom. And so, like, what's the difference? Are you kidding me? What's the difference? Come on. Come on now. One of these things is a nicely written story, and the other one is very clear-cut directions, right? Oh, let's see. What's the best prep? Yeah, okay. It's my own time. All right, so we're going to come back, put this away, get rid of all of these, and we're going to put our instructions in instead. Close the lid on that. Okay, so now we've got our instructions that are going to tell the bot like what to do, how to handle things, how to talk to us, right? Let's just let's see. Yeah, let's just take her for a spin. Oh, I just want to see that the response is going to be what I'd like it to be in terms of the attitude. Yes. Awesome. Okay, so at least it's got the voice that I wanted to have. Oh, this is so great. By the way, you can also use this when it comes to writing. It's a great cheat for like, how do you get a bot to write in a specific way or a specific tone without sounding like repetitive in what it's saying? Hey, write, I'd like you to always respond in the tone and accent of somebody from whatever part of the US, right? And then give it an age, like a 44-year-old, blah, blah, blah. Again, context, man. It says it right there. Like, okay. Cool. I just wanted to see that the voice was there, so we're good there. And now we want to actually give it some knowledge, right? Do we need code interpreter? Yeah, because you guys might upload some stuff to it. Okay, so I'm gonna add code interpreter. That way you get, if you wanted to upload files to have it do any sort of cross-referencing, you can do that too. All right, how do we find stuff for it, right? We did like search for a custom GPT to find a custom GPT to do stuff. We did Google search to find custom GPTs to do stuff. Still comes back to Google search at the end of the day, right? Like, yeah, you can go try to do, whatever searches you want. I got to tell you, I just model search. I mean, so I say Google, I mean Bard. I model search anymore. I don't do engines very often. If I'm trying to find like a very specific news story, maybe. But otherwise I'm just engine searching because it's easier, it's faster, and it's easier, faster. I don't have ads, and I get a preview of the content that I'm after, right? So, so how do we pull content for this, right? Just want top 5 ranked resources. At first I was looking at like, okay, well, pull the top 10 or the top searched links related to marketing strategy for in November of 23, right? So we get that whole series of stuff, which is, it's pretty good. It's not the end of the world. But like, this is like top trends, marketing ideas. Okay, yes, but not exactly what we're trying to build. So what I really want is downloadable resources for this stuff, right? Because try to, work smarter, not harder. So now we're looking at downloadable sources, and we've got one from HubSpot, from SmartBug, got one from Pardot, Market Muse, and Kemp, right? So let's take a look at all of these strategy guides. Kemp's, Market Muse, and Pardot. And take a look at what we're going to have to do, right? Because let's say I want to pull all 5 of these and I want to mash them into one file and then call it a day. I'm just going to do the quick and dirty. I'll do the formatting next time because the formatting is it's work. It's work. If you want your stuff to look good, you gotta put in the time. You can't expect garbage in, garbage out. I'm never going to be tired of saying that. Never. Ever. There was a ridiculous ass article about, large language models not being able to do this, that, or the other. And it was because the person put garbage in there and they got garbage out. So, and then they tried to blame it, don't blame the model for like something that, because like the reason I even go off on this topic is because when people do that and they post articles about it or they post blogs about it, the first thing I do is I turn around and I try to do what it is that you couldn't do. And within 10 minutes, I've done it. Why? Because I've spent a little bit more time working with the tools than you have. AI won't replace your jobs. Somebody like me that knows how to use AI, gonna replace your job, right? Learn it or lose it. So we're gonna start with HubSpot's guide. The free template, not really anything that I care too much about. I really, like you can see, this is a whole nice big old wall of content. That's what I care about because that's where all the goody goodies are. But the reason I said I'm not going to bother with the formatting is because we're going to go a little bit further than what you're seeing even on the page here. So we're going to start at the bottom, work our way up. So oh yes, right, was written by a human, but we use AI in the editorial process. Now you tell me, which one would you have rather had? Which statement reads better to you? This article was written by a human but edited by AI, right? Or that this article was written by AI and edited by a human? Gotta say the latter of the two, the latter of the way those things are phrased. I definitely wouldn't phrase it as we used humans to write it, but AI to check, like if you're trying to say that you used AI as part of the editorial process in terms of like, oh, we had Grammarly AI enabled or something like that. Okay, I guess that's being very, very truthful. I'll give you points for that. Like if that's the reason because you used Grammarly or something like that, okay, fine. I don't think most people would consider that to necessarily like. I don't think we classify it the same way, and I think that's why scientists get really pissed off at people talking about like, oh, this AI has never existed before, because people couldn't really see it. It wasn't like tangible for them in a sense. Having Siri and stuff like that to them was just a novelty. It wasn't necessarily AI, and it wasn't presented that way either, right? So you also almost have to, I don't want to say blame marketing, but you almost have to look at how those technologies were being presented to people, and perhaps they were avoiding the term AI back then in order to not scare people, right? I mean, it took a while for people to get used to the whole like Alexa, Google Home thing. It was a generational thing. Older generations didn't want to trust that stuff. Anyway, let's get back to work. So check out the free collection of stuff here. Remember that, blah, 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 your strategy document. Okay, so pretty much the end of the articles here. So we're gonna go all way back up to the top. And we will start right here. Now back to this. Yep, let's go right there. So we're going to copy all of that, and we're going to come over to, I should start in a text file, but it's going to look super, super ugly. We'll go to WordPad, so that it look a little halfway decent or something. Actually, no. I'll do a Google Doc instead. I hope the lo-fi is coming through. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. But if it does, it's awesome, obviously. Okay, so why did I do it in a Google Doc? Pretty much for this reason here. You have this pre-structured. Next week, I'll show you why this became so important, because trust me, you don't want to do it from the text file source backwards. You want to do it from a structured format forward. Oh my God, the amount of time I wasted on that one. But that's why I do it, guys. I waste my time so that you don't have to. Okay, so we've got all this recommended stuff. We need to do some cleaning. We can't just leave this like super, super dirty. Otherwise it's gonna get lost on like what it is we're trying to do, right. Campaign is no. Okay. Yeah, so this is like a example thing. We don't need the video there because I can't see that. Don't care about that. Okay. Don't need that. Web resources, I'm not too. Yeah, I'm not going to go with that. Could almost go by saying like, it's already, if it's text mentioned, don't bother allowing the image to stay in there. You're just duplicating. Let's see. Digital marketing for small business guide. These are all just references. Source there. Reading. LinkedIn. Advertising, blog posts. Just trimming. Did it with the turkey. Now we got to do it with some files. Don't want it. Maybe next time. Kind of gone through a lot of these docs before, so it's like kind of I have a slight understanding of what I need to clip and what I don't need to clip. Okay, so now we've got one. So we're kind of done with one, right? Or we're done with one? No, we're not done with one. So we've got YouTube videos. So we got to go to YouTube, right? We don't want to lose the YouTube content. Please. They worked really hard to put this up there. So of course we're going to work really hard to make sure that all of their work wasn't wasted, right? So we're going to grab all of that. Do I have my timestamp remover? Oh, I think I forgot it. Oh, this is going to suck. Okay. Oh, maybe. Yes. Oh, please tell me you're going to help me with this. Please. Yes, you are. You are absolutely going to help me with this. This is so great. We're going to call that. Okay. And we're going to put that in downloads. Save that. Always save as the, because of the comment. If you're going to do text files, definitely UTF-8. Keep all, whatever files you're going to upload, try to keep them all the same type. So like try to, if it's data sets, try to keep it text. If it's all going to be text, try to keep it PDF. If you have to have graphics in there to keep it PDF, like whatever you're going to do, but just try to keep it all in the same format. Just makes it easier. Like if it's searching a knowledge base, right? You just want to make it as easy, as fast and easy as possible. That's one of the main issues I ran into with HubSpot Harry is like, I just wanted to junk shit in there. And so I filled him up and yeah, sure. He had like it started out with like 50 megabytes of data, right? Which seemed like a ton, but it wasn't. It actually wasn't a lot of data. It was just that I was like really grossly formatting it. So then, a week later, I crunched it down to 9. And that was still taking way too long. And somebody even, somebody pointed it out to me and it was like, I was so embarrassed. I fixed it that night. But yeah, so it went from 9 down to now I think it is all under 2. I think so. I think it's like just under 2 megabytes. And now from the initial 50, that didn't even have that just had API documentation and like some marketing guide stuff. barely had much in it. Now it has like all the API documentation, all the HubL documentation, like practically everything and anything out of the academy that you can get your hands on by signing up for it. Just about everything out of, like, I'm working on it. We are halfway through the entire knowledge base. But yes, it's got an insane amount of stuff in there. Okay, so we've got our WordPad guide here, and so my idea was, hey, what if I just upload you, and then I say without the timestamps. Oh, please shortcut it for me. Now, because this model has interpreter built into it, it should be able to do that. Unless whoever created this custom GPT has like has like limited it to doing very specific things, and maybe they did. It just might come back and be like, oh, sorry, I don't know how to do that. Which is gonna be funny because I'll just let's see. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. That's perfect. That's almost better than even giving me the file. Because now I don't have to download. I can just copy paste in place. I don't even really have to paste in place. But let's get down to here. And so this was in context to what is strategy, which came from characteristics of that. So we're going to go to that. Come back to our extraction. Copy that. And I'm going to paste that in here. Cool. Because I don't want to lose the context for where that information was coming from. Right? It was relative to this. Oh God, I don't want to. Can we shortcut the? Oops. I don't think I can, even if I. No. just how upset I get about not being able to do simple things. Okay, that's good enough. I'm fine with that. I'll try to kill the graphic designer. All right. So that one's done. We got this video. We've got this video.
What's up?
You don't need anything special for this, by the way. Google has enabled this on every video on YouTube. You just open up the description, scroll further down past the chaptering, past the feature, and hidden away here will be this little show transcript button, and the transcript will pop up here. And so do the same thing that we just did before. In fact, I don't even think I have to make a file. I have no idea why this is moving so slowly. Honestly, I don't have a ton of stuff open. You can see my bar at the bottom. There aren't that many windows open. Legitimately. There is like my stream window, this window, and I think I have like one. No, that's it. That's it. And I have like Spotify and my mic and Visual Studio, which has nothing loaded. It's just a dead Visual Studio window. And a file window, like, and it's not me. I swear it's not me. Okay, so can you please remove the timestamps from following text? God, this is so freakishly slow. And why I said, yeah, you can't just copy paste. Oh my God, could you please stop making me look bad in front of the wizards, bro? Oh man, seriously? If you go faster, I won't mind it so much, but okay, maybe stop, right? Yeah, okay, perfect. I know it's gonna work because at least when I typed it out, it went faster. Like, it's weird, like bouncing back and forth between windows. Like they've enabled something to like keep that from being a thing, I guess. This is 1000% perfect, especially because it's also in paragraph format. All right, so let's go find the insertion points. Okay. And we'll come back to our copy. Oh, one thing I want to go back and check is because I want it to read this as that. Next one is all right. I'll grab our text. Paste it there. Context. Okay. Alrighty, so let's just say that you get the idea of how the rest of that's gonna play out. And I only say that because there's how many more? Maybe there's not that many. Wow, I was about to shortcut it, and there's like what, one more video, maybe? Not even? I shortcut nothing? One more video. Okay, there's. Is it related? Nope. Well, yeah, because it's a paid advertising example. Sure. Oh, and of course, it's the longest example, right? All the other ones, like building up to this, the other ones were like, 2 minutes or 1 minute. The next one was like 2 minutes. This was 7 minutes. It'll take forever. You know what? I'm not going to burn tokens on this because this is not new chat. New thing altogether. 3.5, you better be able to do this, man. Come on, man. Come on, finger. Don't give up on me, 3.5. Beautiful. That was in the spot. Huh. Huh. All right. It's very strange. Even though I did a. There we go. Good deal. Oh my God. All right. Some other time. Okay, so we've got enough of the datas in here. Now, because this has visual examples, we're probably going to want to keep this as a PDF or maybe a doc. Let's just see what the final output size is for both. Doc first. Yeah, and with PDF, it'll actually get like it's a little bit unfair probably by comparison to Doc. Let's see. 400 by 300. I don't think I'm going to be able to cheat this to be smaller. It's not really reduced. Reduced size PDF doesn't, I mean, it's really not. It's like barely reduced every single time. It barely did anything. Okay. What? Oh, because it's open. How is the image retention? Good enough. Okay, we'll go with that. All right, so now knowledge for the bot. It's specifically HubSpot knowledge, but you might be able to, whoops, that one. Let's see if they have an actual thing. Seriously? Come on, guys. Come on. Play nice. What's wrong with you? Why you gotta be like that? What do we do? What do we do? I just wanted to see your stuff. That's all. It's not a big deal, right? Like, what? Okay. Understandable. Respect. Understandable. All right. So there's a guy, and let's see. Kind of. Again, it's like the same sort of thing, like visual representation, content strategy guide. Who knows? Who knows if this is like actually useful or if it's like 8 pages. That's the only reason I hate doing the email sign up ones. It's because you're giving them your email address and you're getting like maybe 2 pages worth of something. Honestly, looks like we got the best of what we were gonna get from HubSpot, which is what do you know? It's typical. Yeah. I could get like, I mean, you could just go and get, I don't want to call it junk. Like, that's the thing, is you don't want to get junk data, right? So honestly, like, either do a good targeted search for something. Let's see. Sometimes, let's see, something like that. This is the only, like I said, when I need to do a specifically targeted search. Download marketing. To do tools. Make it to be this password. Okay. Let's see it. Let's see. Oh, November 2nd. Let's see. What you got? Oh, not if it's a paywall, man. Forget it. 54-page guide. Does it look like this, where it's like 5 words on each page, though? If that's the case, no thanks. Pay dirt. Not a whole lot to it, though, bud. It's the most basic guts. What do you know? Okay, well, these are the let's see. Click to download. Click to download here. If you click one more time to download, okay. I hope like whoever that was saw how much that blew up right there. Let's try. Of course, HubSpot has more, right? Mobile marketing guide could be useful. .org. Again, I'm just looking for very quick, dirty stuff. Reject all. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they do a horrific job now of trying to visually trick you into doing stuff. If I have to keep just want to read it. Like that? Holy. You guys actually went through the trouble of doing that. That's amazing. Oh, I don't want to do that. That's better. That's a lot better, where I don't have to go searching for stuff. Yep. I mean, it's not anything. This is like a very 101 that we could reformat next week and use that. I definitely want to get my hands on some more stuff to reformat for next week along with this. This will probably look like close to, what is it, 27 pages now? It's going to look like 300 pages next week. You see it. This is just like one aspect, and it's a teeny tiny part of it. All right, let's go ahead and save this with the link. I'm going to give you guys the link for this bot as well, so you can start playing around with it. And I should have actually, let's see, strategy, approach, ideas, what are the best practices? What I want to say is, oops. Oh man, that's good. What's your I always like to do like a list your proficiencies, or like if I'm designing a writing bot, list your writing styles. Just to be able to give the user an understanding of like, okay, here's not necessarily guardrails or limitations or anything like that, but like here's what the purpose is. Okay, so let's try Promo Pro and let's see. Let's see what it says. Okay. Let's not call it extensive, but it's a pretty decent start. It's actually a very terrible start, but it's a good toe in the door. All right. Social media campaign for my podcast. Sunday at 10 a.m. to gain greater followership. Raise my brand awareness. And to okay, let's see what we get for a plan. First thing, like my first error check, boom, right away. So there's an error right off the bat. What's the error? The error is that it didn't search its knowledge base before it came back with whatever this answer is. So that's like, at least for me, it's a big problem. Because it means that it maybe went and did a quick online search for something. I don't know. It could have searched the knowledge base, and because the base is so tiny, it's 200K. Could be that it just went through there so quickly that, you know, took next to no time. I would like to believe that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, it's, I don't know, is it going to be impressive to me? Like, what, I guess for me to do something with this bot that would be impressive to me. Let's see. Okay. What to do about creating some GPTs. New to the platform, and I want to make it multi-part series where I walk creation process, data collection, and data formatting it, and then the ability to add external functionality like Zapier actions, custom GPT as well. The amount of episodes, weeks, posts that should accompany them, sample graphics for the two thumbnails, current graphics featured. Yeah. This is gonna be, this will actually blow me away. Let's see. Here's various to the show title. To the episode description. All right, so let's give him an example. Graphics. Use this one. The new one is pretty clean too. But the last episode's one was weird. I'll use the new one. The new one's pretty clean. I just want a clean image where it's easy to see the text away, like on top of the image itself. Okay, what, we need to capitalize that. Yeah. No, it is Zapier. Sorry, it's their company. I didn't do it. All right, I will be very impressed if I see like a nice, sick output from this. What am I expecting? I'm expecting to see like 4-episode shows detailed out with their titles, with the show descriptions, like all of that. Yeah, see, this is definitely not impressing me. So what am I going to be doing from this week to next week? Like what's going to change in this bot, and like how are we going to change this? Let's start with, so here we go. So good gosh. Guys, I'm not going to be doing a series over the course of the year, for crying out loud, on this. Yeah, this is not like, okay, so let's just go ahead and stop. We're going to go back into the edit, and we're going to change some things about the bot, okay? Searching would like the user or a something or a pro should give the rough estimated to what audience center. Let's see. Should go to the nth degree to what is that? Oh, the English language. Should go to the nth degree to detail every aspect of the schedule. If it's a breakdown of the month, it should break all the way down to the hour of taking place, perhaps even a minute, depending on the intricacy of what's being planned. God, I hope I'm wording this right. If I don't, this is gonna come out horrifically. Okay, let's go with that. See where it goes from there. It's likely not going to add these instructions properly, so I doubt that it's going to modify the configuration we've already done to add these in there. I'm assuming it probably might add them as like a paragraph either before or afterwards. Okay. Nope, it did modify. Very nice. See, so like that's the thing, is like if it's going to modify based on what we're doing, why don't you just do that to begin with? Like why do I have to go externally format and then bring it back? Anyway. Let's see, extension alt base, but see, it ripped out a lot of the old. Yeah, it ripped out a lot of the old there already to replace them with this. So I don't like using this thing so much. Let's just change that one aspect and then we'll kind of leave it here. Link for Pro. I'll link this in the chat, and then I'll also link it in the show description so you guys can play around with it. Between now and next week, it's definitely going to get upgraded quite a bit. I mean, now I've gone from like working on like show ideas to like working on bots, and then working on like refining the processes that I use to do that kind of stuff. So okay, so where did we throw that out? Okay, so you can see like how it writes the instruction, right? So at that point you can quite literally, instead of going into the conversation aspect of it, whoops, of course, because I don't know what is up with it. I really don't. It's killing me. Stop. Anyway, so you can just copy paste and put whatever your rule is. This is what the rule is. This is what it's supposed to be, what the name of the rule is, and then this is what the rule is supposed to do. Right? And then you can also give examples. You can also give notation, what have you. I'm actually going to post that as a graphic soon. The actual like steps on like here's how you format, or like here's what you do in order to change the formatting. Similar to what we were doing with the bot earlier. Okay, so now that it's got this more granular function, let's see. That conversation should still be there. Don't care if this breaks the system. Yep, okay. So we want to test it. That's a first. That's the first time you guys have been watching me this whole show. That is the first time I've copy pasted something inside of like 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since copy paste has been broken for me for GPT. And for whatever reason, randomly, boom, it works. Always making me look bad in front of the wizards, bro. I don't understand. Cool. I did say multi-part series, so I'm not really sure why. Okay, so it wants me to do 9 episodes. This is way, see what I mean? Like one tiny little tweak, a little bit of suggestion, a little bit of something here, a little bit of pepper there. All sick. Let's do it. Please. Please. Yes. This is the see, like one tiny little tweak change. Same input, totally different output. Not bad. It's not like it's not what I typically go for, but it's not bad. I mean, it's like, so if I had started by using Dolly, then like maybe, but at the same time, like the description, I didn't give it the complete description, so it kind of didn't know what to go off of. But this is way better than what the output was that I was going to get, right? And so this is another feature that's new that rolled out recently. If you haven't used it, it's extremely, extremely cool. Okay, so let's say there's a weekly air schedule coming posts right before each episode. So what I want to do is highlight this, right? Oh, because it's not in the actual window. Is that why? Damn, don't. Oh, I have to recreate this conversation now. It sucks. Okay, let's do it anyway. As happens, right? I don't know how I have had to refresh. I don't know how many times today. Do the same thing, same graphics. Okay. The only thing I like, the only thing that, so the whole like image reading thing. Now I get it because, you know, I don't know what the exact limitations are. I don't know what it's interpreting when it reads the graphic for the show. If it's reading like the letters as part of the character's face, if I should have just uploaded the show graphic. I don't know. It's funny. The second time in a row, it's done like a very happy-go-lucky version of my mad scientist version. Okay, so this one's a little like even. Oh, this one's wow. This is interesting because it actually picked up that we were on episode 21, so it read the picture differently, right? Understood how to do the title breakdowns a little bit. Very cool. Oh, wow. Okay. So it wants me to use this image for the next one. See some common data pitfalls to avoid. This is not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay. So let's say, so what I was going to show you guys is, let's say formatting the data, right? Okay. So we want episode 23. What I can do is I can reply specifically to this aspect, which again, narrows down the context of what GPT saying. Hey, let's talk about episode 22, gathering and cleaning your data. It may think all I'm referencing, like, unless I go into great detail to say like this plus this whole thing. Now what I can do is just reply to this segment as if you were doing like a reply to in forums, right? Just like you were replying to a person, you're now replying to a part and saying, can you go into greater detail on this episode and give me the filter posts that should accompany it as well as post them. Should have, could have, would have put a question mark in there, but you know, it's getting towards the end. Good deal. I love that. Gives you like even the air date and everything for it. Not that that's, you know, super, you know, crazy over the top, but still. Sorry, but this is actually like I don't know what to tell you. Like if you guys are new to trying to like plan out shows and host shows and stuff like that, like this is really, really, really damn good. I don't do that. I probably should. I don't do this stuff any better than any other method. So I don't know. This was like I thought this was all right. Again, it's not like groundbreaking for me. I love the fact that I was able to make the tweak to it to get it to plan out how I really want it to plan out and to go into greater detail about the plans that it's doing. I love this. I love that it's telling you like, okay, so pre-episode teaser, right? Then there's the episode launch announcement. So like 4 days before air date, on air date, 3 days after the air date, 6 days after the air date, right? Yeah, this is great because then you're starting all over again, right? So it's this is kind of sick. And that's the thing is if you get this, you know, link, if you get this like set up properly and you start getting like your calendar set up and stuff around this, then all of a sudden all of that like becomes way, way better. So like the next step to this, okay, so what are we going to do next week? Oh my God, am I planning shit? What are we going to do next week? This, and we're going to tweak it a little bit more. We're going to add more data to it. As many sources I can get my hands on. I'm going to also make a list for you guys so that you can make your own data set. And then we're going to work on changing the language here. So I'm also going to bring in some data sets that I've built, some writing data sets that I've built so that we can change how it writes these posts. But we can, you know, we can even tweak that here. I think I've got a few minutes left. Let's just focus on just the posts. Can you rewrite these in the tone and style of a well, let's see. Let's see. Normal state. Let's see. Ah, perfect timing. Such perfect timing. Somehow I knew. I'm like, just one more. Yeah, the cap is killing me lately. I'm surprised I didn't hit it sooner. But yeah, really, like that's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, $40. I'll pay $40 a month, man. Just increase either the cap for like plus premium users or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you guys got to do. Just increase the cap, man. Like it's killing me. I can't do nearly as much instructional stuff as I'd like to do on a daily basis. I can't do nearly as much building as I'd like to do on a daily basis. And the thing is, like, I have to work with the model I'm working with. I can't 3.5 this problem, right? I can't see what the 3.5, like the 3.5 output of this doesn't make, it makes zero difference. I think when I'm in the testing environment, I can screw around with it and still make changes to it. Let's see. Actually, the real test is this one. Okay, so in the test environment, you can keep going, but this test environment doesn't translate over. So, I mean, theoretically, you could keep going in here, right? This is just not going to be a remembered conversation. So if all you needed was output, fine, then I'd keep going in here. If you need to use GPT-4, obviously you can go to a lab environment, you can go to Chat Hub, you can go to like any number of places or what have you. It's just that it's not going to be your custom GPT, right? So again, like the advantage of working with it is not really going to be a big thing. But at least while you're in here, you could still like play around with it, like I was trying to do with the written output for the social posts, right? I can at least do that in here and get it to make those changes. Or if it doesn't make the changes, I can change the instruction here and then continue to play with it and see, make sure the instructions take. So there's still a lot you can do without, even if you get barred. No pun intended. Even if you get locked out from being able to use the actual bots, you can still continue your testing and tweaking stuff in here. So yeah, between now and next week, going to increase this knowledge base, not necessarily the amount of files, but just what types are going to be in here. So we'll have like marketing guide. We'll have probably another data set that's going to be writing guide, probably another data set that will be related to probably like marketing ideation, like, you know, coming up with new concepts and things like that. It might not even be marketing related. It just might be like design concepts related. Then I'm trying to build an industries data set. So it's like a, and I'm looking for it. I took a look for it already. I didn't find quite what I was looking for. I kind of found some of it in some files. So I kind of patching some stuff together. But basically, I'm trying to create like a glossary of industries, like what each industry type is, like what it does, what it is, what it means in relation to other industries, how it relates to other industries, you know, where there's connections, where there aren't connections, what type of natural resources get used, what type of monetary resources get used, what type of laws surround them, what type of environmental protection laws do they have to deal with, what type of regulations do they have to deal with, what type of ordinances, all of that kind of stuff, everything and anything. When I say I want all the datas, I want all the datas. So I'm trying to put something like that together, which is why it isn't something just as easy as like go to a website and rip it down. Like, no, you have to find all this interconnected stuff and somehow connect it back together and then organize it in such a way that something that doesn't understand it can understand it. So that being said, we're going to fill this bad boy up. We're going to go through a process to clean up the data as well. We'll show like what that cleanup process looks like a little bit. And what else are we going to get into? Going to get into just like tweaking this out a little bit more. Like, just kind of want to stay in this zone, right, until Promo Pro is perfect-ish for other people to start using. And then, which is pretty much what I do. I try to keep it in like public but link mode, so that other people can use it when I link it to them, but so that it's not, it's just for you guys to play around with. But I don't want it to be public necessarily yet because it's not really for public use yet. So getting there one step at a time. Well, I hope that you guys got a lot out of today. Again, when it comes to using, models, don't constrain yourself just to GPT. Use Bard to help you do research to get stuff that you need for GPT. I can't go too far further than that. I mean, if you needed to format your info in some particular way in order to get it into GPT, so be it. Oh, you know what? Do we have a couple minutes? Yeah, we do. Let's see if I re-up my key. I think I did. So I don't know if I ever actually got to show you guys this because I think the last time I tried it, my key expired. Yeah, okay. So let me do this in another window. So sorry, I don't want to give you API keys for free. Here we go. And give me a new God mode key. Creates a new one. Okay. Create secret key, and there it is. What's this? Done. Copied. Okay, cool. There we go. So now we go with 4. Go ahead and verify that key. It's good, and we done. Okay, so like, why do I keep talking about God mode and auto GPTs? And what does that all look like? And what's the point of that? Point of that is this basically. Now I don't want it to go like too ape and looking for something that's going to take it forever. Understand that this is not like using search engine. If you ask this thing to search for something, it will search the entire breadth of the internet to find what it is that you're looking for. It's not the same as Google or a search engine that is just looking for like specific bits of information from like keywords and stuff like that to pull the site. It is going and reading the whole damn thing. So in order to like keep it from going too hog wild, let's see. We'll do something very, very easy. What's the best method to create a house? Playing cards. So I just want to show you what like an auto agent looks like, what an AI with multiple agents looks like. Okay. So first it's asking here, like, I think we should gather the sufficient number of playing cards, which, you know, it's going to need to do. Learn and practice different card stacking techniques. You see that part, right? Learn and practice. Right? Experiment with different card arrangements and structure to see what works best. Okay. And then if I wanted to, I could add additional instructions to it, but we'll just go with those. Now I'm going to go ahead and automatically approve every action for the next 10 minutes. And basically I just want you guys to watch and see what it looks like with sort of like behind the scenes a little bit. I can't say that it's exactly what goes on, but it's a little bit behind the scenes, right? So it's started to do its task. It's going to start with a query, and it's going to go do a search on Google to find different methods of building playing card houses. So it's saying, like, before I can even do this, I need to understand the best techniques that are available. The link is reputable source from Wiki, and the title suggests that it contains multiple methods for building houses of cards. Extracting the summary of this page will likely provide a good starting point. So it's already going to go ahead and start pulling that data. So it went and did like a real quick scan, and it's like, all right, I found a video on YouTube, made the mistake. The get text summary command requires, okay. So like what you're watching is, you know, it's doing this all on its own. I'm not having to, this isn't like GPT where you have to like continually prompt it to do things where like, oh, I failed at doing this, so that's just the end of our discussion and I can't do anything else. No, like it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep trucking until it finishes the goal. Like I said, it will start. It's such a generic question. Oh my God. Now that I think back on it, because this could take like, I'm not even joking. This could take 5 hours. It could take 3 days, right? It will literally keep going until it determines and finds the best method for stacking cards to create a house. So, I should have, you know what? I'll pick a better model / example for next time on this one too, so that so you guys can see it work through like the entire scale, let's say, of what it's doing. But yeah, it's let's see. Yeah, I don't want to keep the show going anymore just for this. I'll put a better example of God mode together for you next week, so you can see what it looks like when it actually thinks through an entire process and sort of gets there. Let's see. Auto approve, and then what I'd like to do is okay. I know I can't help myself when I start doing this stuff. Summary from this URL will give me okay. should have said do that and then start experimenting. I really want to see what this process looks like, to be honest with you. Okay. Yeah, I'll put a better demo together for next week that like we'll actually go through the steps a little bit faster. Yeah, so it's just gonna keep going. It's just gonna keep going through all the different like, and you can see like it's gone through different like wiki aspects or wiki sources, I guess, to do this. I don't know if it's continually going through. Oh my god, this is just the resource pulling aspect of it. Good lord. These are just more like this is the list of resources that it wants to go look through. My god. Yeah, so I'll pull a better I'll pull a better example together next week where it's not trying to search like the whole of the entire earth in order to get a result for us. Okay, good deal. Anyway, let's go ahead and stop. It won't keep going after that when it finishes. So I hope you guys got, a fair amount out of this week in terms of building your custom GPTs and process on how to do that, process on how to gather some data to put into your GPTs and make your bots better, all the better, right? That being said, I hope that you guys. Oh, you know what? It is. It's December. Mr. Gruber down a little bit. I hope that you guys like. If you guys don't have one of these, this is awesome. This is the official Die Hard. What do you call it? Geez. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of it. I forget the name of it. The countdown clock for Christmas. I forget the name. But anyway, they made a Die Hard version of it. Definitely get your hands on it if you love that kind of thing. It is it's a little Hans Gruber falling down from the tower. And so nice little replica of Nakatomi Tower with Hans Gruber up there. So ushering in the new year. At any rate, I hope that you enjoyed the episode. You got something out of it, and I hope you guys are going nuts building your own custom GPTs and doing some amazing things. And would love to see them. Link your stuff anytime you want to. Send it to me. I'd love to take a look at it. I'd love to test your guys' GPTs as much as you guys test mine. I would really I would. And put them through the rigor, right? Like let's make some really cool stuff. So thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with my antics as usual. And yeah, thanks for coming along to GPT with me. See you guys next time.